Have you ever wondered what would happen if you stopped worrying about others and turned all your energy inward? What if the only competition you had was yourself? Today, we'll explore the profound transformation that occurs when you focus on yourself through the timeless lens of Stoicism. This isn't about selfishness. It's about unlocking your true potential. In a world filled with distractions, pressures, and endless comparisons, the art of focusing on yourself has never been more important. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, believed that the key to inner peace and success lies in mastering our own minds, rather than trying to control the external world. In today's episode, we'll dive deep into how Stoic philosophy can help you channel your energy into self-growth, resilience, and personal empowerment. Many of us spend our days consumed by what others think of us. Social media, peer pressure, the constant need for validation, it's a cycle that keeps us stuck. We worry about others' opinions, compare ourselves to their achievements, and in the process, we lose sight of our own journey. Stoicism teaches us that these distractions are illusions. The only thing we control is our response to the world, not the world itself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Let that sink in for a moment. Focusing on yourself means reclaiming control of your mind and shifting your energy inward. So, how do we practice self-focus? The Stoics give us timeless tools to achieve this. Let's start with one of the most liberating principles in Stoicism: detachment from external opinions. This idea might seem radical, especially in a world that constantly pushes us to care about what others think. But here's the truth. Seeking approval from others, constantly worrying about how we are perceived, is one of the biggest obstacles to personal growth and peace of mind. The more we rely on external validation, the more we lose control over our own happiness. Think about it. How often do you find yourself doubting a decision because you're worried about what someone else will think? How many times have you hesitated, held back, or even given up on a goal because of fear of judgment? Epictetus said it best when he reminded us, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In other words, other people's opinions and actions are beyond your control. The only thing within your power is how you choose to respond. The moment you stop giving weight to external opinions is the moment you start to reclaim your freedom. The problem with constantly chasing approval is that it's a never-ending cycle. You might satisfy one person's expectations today, but tomorrow there's another critic, another doubter, another person whose opinion you're afraid of. Living like this is exhausting. Stoicism teaches us to cut this cycle off at the root by training our minds to let go of what others think. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring about people or become indifferent to the world. It simply means that you stop letting others control your emotions and self-worth. Marcus Aurelius himself, as Emperor of Rome, was surrounded by opinions, some praising him, some criticizing him, but he refused to let these voices sway him from his path. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Now, you might be thinking, but what if someone's opinion matters to me? What if their judgment affects my life? It's true, there are moments when external feedback can be useful, especially when it comes from someone we trust or respect. But even in these moments, Stoicism teaches us to reflect, not react. When you receive criticism or praise, pause and ask yourself, does this align with my values? Is this feedback useful for my growth? If it is, you can choose to act on it. But if it's simply noise, negative judgments based on someone else's insecurities or expectations, let it go. By learning to detach from the opinions of others, you free yourself to live authentically. You begin to make decisions based on what truly matters to you, not based on what will please others. This is where real self-mastery begins. The magic happens when you start trusting yourself, relying on your inner compass rather than looking outward for direction. You become immune to both the praise that inflates your ego and the criticism that tears you down. You remain steady, focused, and resilient in your journey. This is the Stoic path to freedom. Now, let's move on to the second principle, which is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy: mindful reflection. Imagine this. At the end of every day, you take a moment to sit quietly, free from distractions, and reflect on your actions, thoughts, and experiences. How did you respond to challenges? Did you stay true to your values? Where did you succeed, and where did you fall short? This is exactly what Marcus Aurelius did. Every night, he would turn inward, asking himself these questions and noting down his reflections in his journal, which we now know as Meditations. This practice wasn't just about looking back at the day. It was about learning and growing, one step at a time. Mindful reflection isn't about judging yourself harshly or dwelling on mistakes. It's about gaining clarity. It's about understanding where you are on your journey and what adjustments need to be made moving forward. Without reflection, we risk moving through life on autopilot, repeating the same mistakes, and wondering why we're not progressing. But when you pause to reflect, really reflect, you create space for growth. You start to see patterns in your behavior, moments where you reacted out of habit or fear, and opportunities where you could have chosen differently. So how does this Stoic practice of reflection work? First, it's about being honest with yourself. Marcus Aurelius didn't sugarcoat his reflections. He admitted his flaws and where he could improve. He knew that only by facing his imperfections could he become better. The same applies to us. When we reflect, we need to approach ourselves with honesty, but also with compassion. It's not about beating yourself up for every misstep. It's about learning from them. The key is to focus on progress, not perfection. For example, let's say you had a difficult conversation at work today. Instead of reacting with frustration or regret, you reflect. How did you handle it? Did you listen with patience? Did you stay calm? Or were you quick to react? What could you do differently next time? By reflecting on these moments, you gain insight into how you can improve your responses, how you can grow into the person you want to be. And it's not just about negative experiences. Mindful reflection also allows you to acknowledge your successes, to recognize where you stayed calm under pressure or made a decision aligned with your values. One of the most powerful aspects of reflection is that it helps you stay grounded in the present moment. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of responsibilities and distractions. We're constantly moving from one task to the next without pausing to think about whether we're truly living in alignment with our purpose. Reflection brings you back to center. It reminds you to slow down, to check in with yourself, and to make sure you're on the right path. The Stoics saw reflection as a daily ritual. It's not something you do once in a while when things go wrong. It's a consistent practice that helps you grow a little bit each day. Over time, this practice builds a deeper connection with yourself. You become more self-aware, more intentional, and more resilient. And here's the magic. As you become more mindful of your thoughts and actions, you'll notice that you start living with greater clarity and confidence. Your decisions become more aligned with your values, and you'll feel a deeper sense of purpose in everything you do. This is the power of mindful reflection, and it's one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Now, let's explore one of the most important teachings of Stoicism, the one that lies at the heart of everything. Focus on what you can control. If you take only one principle from Stoic philosophy, let it be this. So much of our suffering, stress, and anxiety come from trying to control things that are completely out of our hands. We worry about what other people think of us. We get upset when plans don't go the way we hoped, and we feel helpless when life throws us challenges we didn't expect. But here's the truth. No matter how hard we try, we can't control the actions, thoughts, or opinions of others. We can't control external events or the unexpected turns life takes. The only thing we can control is our response. This concept is so simple, yet it's life-changing when you truly embrace it. Epictetus taught that our happiness depends on our ability to recognize this distinction between what is within our control and what is not. He said, "Some things are up to us and some things are not." By focusing only on what you can control, you free yourself from the frustration of trying to manage the uncontrollable. Think about how much time we waste worrying about things that are beyond our influence. Will that person like me? Will I get that promotion? What if something goes wrong? All of these concerns pull us away from the present moment and fill us with unnecessary stress. When you shift your focus to what you can control, your actions, your thoughts, your responses, you reclaim your power. You stop trying to change the things that are outside your influence and instead channel your energy into what you can do right now. This shift in mindset brings a sense of peace and clarity. You no longer feel overwhelmed by the chaos of the world because you've anchored yourself in what matters, your own choices. Imagine this. You're working on a project, and suddenly, everything seems to go wrong. Maybe the technology fails, a colleague drops the ball, or the deadline gets moved up unexpectedly. In these moments, it's easy to feel frustrated and defeated. But Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control the external circumstances, we can control how we respond. You can choose to panic and let the situation stress you out, or you can choose to remain calm, assess the situation, and focus on what you can do next. That's the key. In every situation, there is always something within your control, even if it's just your attitude. And here's the real magic. When you focus on what you can control, you empower yourself to act with purpose and intention. You stop wasting energy on things that don't serve you and start putting your efforts into areas where you can make a real difference. This not only leads to better outcomes, but it also strengthens your resilience. Life becomes less overwhelming because you've trained yourself to handle challenges with grace and clarity. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." So many of our fears and anxieties are based on imagined worst-case scenarios, things that might happen, but probably won't. By focusing on what you can control, you ground yourself in reality. You stop letting your imagination run wild with fear and instead take practical steps toward what you want to achieve. Every day presents opportunities to practice this principle. When things don't go your way, ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? It might be how you react, the actions you take next, or the mindset you choose to adopt. By consistently returning to this practice, you'll notice a shift in how you handle stress, setbacks, and even success. You'll become more resilient, more focused, and more in tune with your true purpose. This is the Stoic path to freedom, the ability to focus solely on what you can control and let go of the rest. Let me share with you a story, a personal breakthrough through the lens of Stoicism. There was a time when I, like many of you, struggled with constant comparison. I was always looking at others' successes, doubting my path, and feeling stuck. That's when I discovered Stoicism and the idea that we must turn inward to truly grow. I started applying the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, focusing on my thoughts and actions, not the success or opinions of others. I created a daily routine of reflection and mindfulness, making sure I stayed true to my goals. Slowly but surely, things started to shift. I wasn't weighed down by what others thought. I was more present, more at peace with myself, and more productive in my work. The results were transformative, and this can happen for you too. Now that you understand the power of focusing on yourself, let's dive into practical Stoic tools you can use in your daily life. Let's talk about how you start your day. The first tool we'll explore is the morning routine, and this isn't just any routine. It's rooted in the wisdom of Stoic meditation. Now, imagine waking up and instead of reaching for your phone, instead of letting the world flood in with notifications and distractions, you pause. For just a few minutes, you step away from the noise and connect with yourself. That's what a Stoic morning routine is all about. Beginning each day with intention, clarity, and a sense of purpose. One of the most powerful examples of this practice comes from Marcus Aurelius. Every morning, as he rose to face the immense pressures of being a Roman emperor, he reminded himself of a simple but profound truth. Today, I will meet people with different values, people who are selfish, dishonest, and arrogant, but I will remain true to my purpose. He knew that the day would be filled with challenges, but instead of being overwhelmed, he prepared his mind for whatever might come. He didn't wait for the world to shape his mood, he shaped it himself. When you begin your day with this kind of intention, you're creating a shield of calm and clarity around yourself. It's like setting the stage for how you'll respond to everything that happens. You're no longer reactive, being pulled in 100 different directions by circumstances or other people's opinions. Instead, you're grounded in your own purpose. So how do you do this? Before diving into emails or scrolling through social media, take a few quiet moments for Stoic meditation. Sit in silence and ask yourself, what matters most to me today? What are my priorities? How do I want to show up in the world? By setting these intentions, you're aligning your actions with your values from the very start. This could mean deciding to be more patient with a difficult coworker, staying calm under pressure, or simply committing to finishing the tasks you've set for yourself. The beauty of a Stoic morning routine is that it's flexible. You don't need an elaborate ritual, just a few intentional moments of reflection. You might choose to journal your thoughts, practice deep breathing, or simply sit quietly and visualize the kind of day you want to have. But whatever you do, the key is to focus on what you can control. Marcus Aurelius didn't start his day worrying about what others thought of him or the obstacles he might face. He focused on how he would respond, on being true to himself no matter what the world threw at him. As you move through the day, this morning meditation stays with you. When you encounter setbacks or frustrations, you'll find yourself better equipped to handle them with calm and grace. Instead of getting swept up in the chaos, you'll return to that quiet place of intention you created in the morning. And that's where the magic happens. When you start your day with purpose, you set the tone for everything that follows. As the day comes to a close, we arrive at the second tool, the evening reflection. Just as the morning routine sets the tone for your day, the evening reflection allows you to pause and look back, to learn, grow, and prepare for tomorrow. This isn't about regret or criticism, but about understanding where you did well, where you could improve, and how you can live more in line with your values. Marcus Aurelius was a master of this practice. Every night, after the responsibilities of ruling an empire, he would retreat to reflect on the day's events. He wrote down his thoughts not for the world to see, but for himself. He would ask, "Did I live according to my principles today? Were there moments when I lost focus or let my emotions take over?" Through this practice, he was able to stay aligned with his purpose, constantly refining his actions and thoughts. You might think, what's the point of looking back on the day when it's over? But here's the power of Stoic journaling. It allows you to create a continuous cycle of growth. Every day is an opportunity to learn something new about yourself, to understand where your strengths lie, and where your weaknesses may hold you back. Instead of blindly moving through life, reflection helps you see patterns in your behavior. It shines a light on the moments when external distractions or emotions pulled you off course. When you engage in this evening reflection, start by asking yourself a few simple questions. What went well today? Where did I stay true to my goals and values? Were there moments where I let external distractions get in the way of my focus? By exploring these questions, you're not just reflecting on the day's events. You're deepening your self-awareness. You're training yourself to stay more grounded in what truly matters to you. And here's where the growth happens. Over time, as you make this practice a habit, you'll begin to notice patterns. Maybe there's a particular trigger that causes you to lose patience or a specific task that consistently overwhelms you. By recognizing these patterns, you can take proactive steps to address them. You'll also start to see your progress, how you're becoming more resilient, more focused, and more aligned with your purpose. The evening reflection isn't about being perfect. It's about being honest with yourself. It's about taking responsibility for your actions without judgment and using that awareness to move forward. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Through reflection, you learn to let go of what didn't serve you during the day and focus on how you can show up stronger tomorrow. The third tool is perhaps the most profound and transformative: mindfulness and present moment awareness. We spend so much of our lives caught up in either the past or the future. We dwell on mistakes, replaying them in our minds, or we worry endlessly about what might happen tomorrow. But here's the reality. The only time we truly have control over is now, this present moment. And yet, we often miss it. We rush through our days, our minds tangled in regrets or anxieties, while the present slips away unnoticed. In Stoicism, the present moment is where all of your power lies. Epictetus taught that we must embrace this truth. He said, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best of yourself? The best of yourself is only available in the present, not in some distant future where everything will magically be perfect." By focusing on the now, you free yourself from the burdens of what has already happened and what might happen. Imagine this. You're in the middle of a stressful situation, maybe at work or in your personal life. Your mind is racing with thoughts about what went wrong or fears about what could go wrong. In that moment, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what can I control right now? By bringing your awareness back to the present, you center yourself. You stop letting your mind drag you into the past or future, and you begin to focus on what's right in front of you. This simple practice not only calms your mind, but also helps you make better decisions. The Stoics understood that living in the present moment is the key to inner peace. When you stop worrying about the past or future, you can engage fully with what's happening now. You can listen more deeply, work more efficiently, and respond more thoughtfully. But here's the thing, being present isn't always easy. It takes practice, and that's where Stoicism comes in. It teaches us to notice when our minds start to wander, to gently bring ourselves back, and to focus on what we can control right now. This isn't about ignoring the future or pretending the past doesn't matter. It's about understanding that you can't change the past, and you can't predict the future. But you can choose how you act in this moment. You can choose to be mindful, to stay calm, and to respond with intention. And the more you practice this, the more you'll find that living in the present is not just peaceful, it's powerful. It's where real change happens. The final tool, and perhaps the one that ties everything together, is developing emotional resilience. If you think about it, life is full of ups and downs. There are moments of joy and success, but there are also moments of frustration, disappointment, and pain. How you respond to these emotional highs and lows determines not just your happiness, but your ability to navigate life's challenges with strength and grace. In Stoicism, emotional resilience is at the core of the philosophy. It's the ability to remain steady, no matter what life throws your way. Marcus Aurelius captured this idea beautifully when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." It's a reminder that while we can't control the world around us, we can control how we react to it. Imagine a situation where something unexpected happens. Maybe you lose a job opportunity, or a relationship hits a rough patch. It's natural to feel emotions like frustration, anger, or sadness. But here's where Stoic wisdom comes in. Instead of reacting impulsively to these emotions, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, is this within my control? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? By taking this pause, you're allowing yourself to feel the emotion without being consumed by it. You're stepping into a place of clarity and intention. Emotional resilience isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending everything is fine. It's about recognizing that emotions are a part of life, but they don't have to dictate your actions. The more you practice this, the stronger you'll become. You'll find that setbacks no longer throw you off course as they once did. Instead, they become opportunities for growth, for learning, and for refining your character. Here's the magic of Stoic resilience. As you develop this skill, you'll notice that you're no longer reacting emotionally to situations beyond your control. You'll feel a sense of calm, even in the face of uncertainty, because you've trained your mind to stay steady. This is the strength that Marcus Aurelius spoke of. It's not about controlling the world, it's about mastering yourself. And once you've done that, no external event can shake your peace. Let's recap what we've learned today. When you shift your focus from the external world to yourself, incredible things begin to happen. Stoic philosophy teaches us to detach from external opinions, reflect on our actions, and focus on what we can control. By applying these practices, you'll find yourself growing emotionally stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with your purpose. The magic isn't in changing the world around you, it's in changing yourself. Now it's your turn. How will you start focusing on yourself? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how Stoicism has helped you on your journey of self-growth. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might need this message. Join our growing community as we continue to learn and grow together through the power of Stoic wisdom.